Gymnastics on a Friday night in Columbia, Missouri. We're at the Hurt Center for this top 12 matchup between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Missouri Tigers. Alongside Adelina Huffendyke, Shrimp, I'm Max Toma. Glad to have you with us here on this Friday for what should be a scintillating tilt between two sides who are really growing into this season, performing at their best right now, and it should be a fun one, should be a tight one throughout. Partner, what are you most looking forward to here tonight?
You know, we spoke to co-head coach Ryan Roberts and head coach for the Missouri Tigers, Shannon Welker, earlier this week, and he said, we're looking for consistency and we're looking for attention to detail, and I'm ready to see that tonight.
Gonna have a ton of talented gymnasts on full display. We'll be at 10 watch all night long. Mizzou's got a couple of 10 so far this year, coming from Helen Hu on beam back in January. Kennedy Griffin, what she did on floor last week, and then Lily Smith had the 10 on bars last year, actually in Athens against these Missouri Tigers.
Great talent in the room tonight. I'm excited to watch them.
You see bars, you see beam, you see floor. What you didn't see was vault. It's an area both these teams could really improve upon. And whoever finds the keys to vault just might unlock their full potential here in 2025.
Yes, both teams are working on fine-tuning those landings and really focusing on the details. It has been an area of weakness for both teams so far this season, and they're both looking to come out with a strong performance right out of the gate that will set them up great for the rest of the meet.
For the Georgia Bulldogs, the most decorated program in the country, 10 national titles. They got 5 in a row from 2005 to 2009. They got a new coaching staff with co-head coaches both in their first year. Ryan Roberts was an assistant the last couple of years down in Athens, and then they brought upon the Hall of Famer. It's Cecile Concuto-Landy as well. And then on the other side, man who's been guiding this program for a long time. He was your former head coach as well, in Shannon Welker, who is in year 12.
Yes, he's doing an excellent job with this program, and they are truly on the rise. It'll be interesting to see how tonight goes and watch this team.
He has brought this Tigers program into prominence. They have just continued to grow over the last decade plus as you look at the dual meet format. Mizzou did win a quad meet last Friday back in a dual meet format, 6 gymnasts per team. You drop the lowest score per event. Team with the highest cumulative score obviously wins. The home order, the Olympic order, is what Mizzou will go in: vault to bars to beam to floor. And when we talked to Coach Welker earlier on this week, it's so massive for Mizzou to have a good start because they're opening up on the apparatus they struggle with the most. So if they could come out strong, it could really set them up for a big night.
That's exactly what they're looking for tonight, and Georgia in that second rotation will be looking to do the same.
All points of emphasis, you start value, execution, and landing, and it's certainly the landing element that Coach Welker was really harping on. Something they've struggled with the last couple of weeks, but he really expects them to find those landings and sticks in a hurry.
They sure do, and we're starting off strong with Kennedy Griffin. See if we can get those Tigers off to a strong start.
Kennedy Griffin, the sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio, to get things started at a 9-8 on vault last Friday. Also became the second youngest Mizzou gymnast to get to 10 when she got that 10 on floor last Friday in Mizzou to the loop. Just like that, we are off and running here on a Friday night in Como.
Kennedy Griffin starts out with a great Yurchenko vault, almost hits the stick, but a slight hop backwards. It'll be a small deduction for that. Great start for the Missouri Tigers.
Just the exact kind of start we were talking about that they would love to have. About setting the tone early. Kennedy Griffin, the sophomore, doing just that. So Mizzou, 15th in the country on vault. And I can take a look at bars. This is Georgia's best apparatus. They are top 10 in the country, entering today 8th at FUS.
And up first they have Chingay Bakshi, starting out with a beautiful pack to Shapash half, finishing out with a giant full double tuck, and she finds the landing. Beautiful stuff, dismount. They're happy with that start to the meet.
She's making her bars debut for the year as well. She has competed this season on vault and floor. She's sensational on floor, leads the team at FUS in that event. But for a season debut on an apparatus, I mean, this was clutch.
I mean, no other way to start out your first bar routine of the year with a stuck dismount.
Rayleigh Jackson is the lineup change here in the 2 spot. Another one of these very important freshmen, Rayleigh Jackson, Olivia Kelly, have had 2 very impactful ones this year. Appreciate it. Well,
Second up on vault, they have another Yurchenko full. Pretty sizable hop backwards on that, which will be a fairly large deduction. Overall, open shoulders on the table and nice clean form throughout.
That score in for Kennedy Griffin, a 9.85. Certainly what Mizzou is looking for out of this shoot, but you'd expect a big score for Chenge Bachke as well, the opener for Georgia, as we move things over to Holly Snyder. Sophomore from Maryland, a 9.825 on bars last time out.
Holly Snyder does unique casting with a straight body. You don't see that very often in NCAA gymnastics. Finishing off that routine with a handstand, just the dismount left. Gorgeous full twisting double tuck and finds that landing. Georgia's really off to the start that they were hoping for with the sticks.
So I talk about it so much in gymnastics. Sticks can be contagious. That was certainly the case last week on bars for Georgia, and it seems to be the case here for them in a true road meet here tonight in Como.
Absolutely. They are looking to just keep continuing to build momentum throughout this event.
Olivia Kelly up third for Mizzou. You go freshman into freshman, and there's none more impressive on this Missouri squad. Number 8 overall recruit in this freshman class.
Olivia Kelly does the same vault as the other previous gymnast, a Yurchenko full. Still a sizable hop backwards on that landing. Overall, nice open shoulders and flat hips on the twist.
Big on high amplitude. She's got a ton of power. Last meet was her first meet doing 3 events. She's really growing into her freshman season, continuing to improve as the year goes on. Sadie Jane Berry is next up here. So freshman into freshman. Here's a look at her numbers on bars this year. Her 4th time performing on this event. 9.875 in the first couple of meets. It's her first time on bars since that matchup at Florida where she had a 9.6.
Sadie Jane Berry starts out with her first release element called a chippage, straight body release into an immediate packed salto back down to the low bar. The judges are looking for pirouetting that is right on top of the bar. It looked like she was just a bit shy of handstand there. Finishing off this routine with a stalder to a double tuck, and she gets the landing. 3rd stick for Georgia on bars.
Did not look like a freshman who has not competed in 4 weeks since January 24th. And that's 3 straight sticks to start the night.
Let's
Georgia.
see that dismount again. Little bit short on that handstand, but beautiful legs together and toes pointed in that double tuck. Finds that landing.
Kennedy Griffin with a great start for Mizzou, but a 9.65 and a 9.7 for Jackson and Kelly to follow up. And now it's back to Hannah Horton, who had a struggle on vault season low, 9.675 last Friday.
Hannah Horton with a Yurchenko 1.5 and sticks it. The crowd in here is going crazy. They are sure happy with that vault.
Both these teams have dealt with so much adversity throughout the season, and after back-to-back scores that were lower than you would want, Hannah Horton just delivered here in a big way.
Beautiful Yurchenko 1.5, legs glued together the entire time. That is what head coach Shannon Walker was hoping to see more of tonight.
Now Addie Wall, the sophomore from Zanesville, Ohio. 9.95. That was a career high on bars last week in their win at home versus Arkansas, and also tied a team high because they had a couple 9.95s. Lily Smith did the same on bars last week, and she has yet to go. She'll be in that anchor spot. So Hannah Horton with a 9.9. covered that. Rayleigh Jackson 9.65. 9.925. Both these teams have their season best 197.2 in road meets a couple of weeks ago when we talked to Shannon Welker. He's kind of eyeing more of a 197.5 just about. And they didn't start well on vault last Friday, but they found it in a hurry. It helps when you have a program record performance like they did on floor. But we mentioned vault was going to be huge for both these teams here today. And, well, for Georgia on bars, you look at the emphasis, and so far the dismounts have been great, and they're sticking the landing consistently. What is this kind of a weight do for you as a former gymnast, though? Does it make you a little antsy?
It gets you a little bit nervous, but, you know, co-head coach Ryan Roberts was talking about all of the mental training these gymnasts have been doing since preseason. So for Addie Wall, this is just another day for her.
At the contrast there, Ryan Roberts, who's kind of an all gas, no brakes kind of guy, perfect compliment to Sesu Kankito-Landy, and also on the other side, Shannon Welker also likes to keep it light and a little bit loose as well. Guy who has a lot of fun. But Addie Wall is had a sizable break. You see a little smile on her face. She's just about ready to go now. So three very solid scores for Georgia on bars. And you get to the back half, Wall, Scott, and Smith, who can all deliver big numbers.
Addie Wall starting out with another shaposh to immediate pack salto. Beautifully done. Finding that handstand on the half pirouette. A little bit short on that last cast. Gearing up for the dismount. She held on to it. She got the stick. Will likely be a small deduction for that arm circle, but another stuck landing for Georgia on bars.
A little lean back, but a lot of strength to keep those feet planted.
She was gripping hard with those toes. Another look at that. A little bit of an arm circle, but she holds on to the stick.
So great to have that energy and your teammates right behind you. Now Jocelyn Moore, who's so terrific here on vault.
Another Yurchenko 1.5 with a step forward. She did step over those yellow lines that are marked on the map, which will be a deduction. She gets so much height and amplitude on that vault. Just has to spot that landing a little bit earlier.
She's had a struggle on vault of late, even though she was the vault champ of the SEC back in 2023. Later tonight, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Oklahoma Gymnastics team. Never before seen footage and sound from gymnasts and coaches. A real behind-the-scenes look. That's at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Here is Jeffrey Scott. So we talked about 10s out of the jump today. Georgia still out of their first 10 of the season. This is certainly a candidate. It's Jeffrey Scott.
Huge releases for Jeffrey Scott. She actually does an extra release, a shaposh half, which won't get her any extra bonus, but does look nice in the routine. Finishes off with a stretch double A dismount and nails the landing.
Coach Roberts talked about just being able to compete with attention to detail for her. She's got so much difficulty in her bars routine. This looks sensational.
She makes it look so easy.
She's had a 9.8 or better in all 5 bars routines. That certainly looks like a trend that's going to continue. So after Hannah Horton's 9.925, Jocelyn Moore's the 9.75, and the vault struggles kind of continue, and the vault struggles continue in general for Mizzou.
We're hoping for a big score from Amari Celestine here, doing another Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Excellent landing from Amari Celestine. Small hop forward, but overall well-controlled and good form throughout.
That brings us to Lily Smith on bars, and we told you in the open what she did on bars last year in Athens against these Missouri Tigers.
Lily Smith just has beautiful lines on bars. She's a tall gymnast, but she makes herself look even more tall with how elegant she swings.
Her first career 10, always a threat to Habitat, especially on this event. She's a perfectionist, and when you're this good, I think you can afford to be one.
Gearing up for the dismount here. A tucked full in, and she nails it. Georgia Bulldogs are 6 for 6 on the sticks on bars. That was an excellent routine from Lily Smith.
Jenge Bakshi started with a 9.85. That could well be the score they drop in this first rotation on bars for Georgia. This is their best event, and they are setting the tone on it here in the first rotation. Here's another look.
Just beautiful lines. Toes are pointed throughout. Just nails that handstand on top. I mean, she's even pointing her toes in her double tuck right before the landing. Cecile Concato Landy's chanting 10, hoping for a big score there.
Both those coaches could bring energy. Lily Smith has crushed the last couple of meets on bars and floor. Over the last two, she's averaging a 9.925 on both. And that's a 9.95. And a 49.475 in the first rotation for Georgia. 8th in the country in this event. And what a way to start their night. They'll have an advantage here. 3/10 and a half after the opening rotation. For Missouri, they're going to have to wait at least one more week to try to figure things out on vault. But for this Georgia team, they won at home versus Arkansas. Big W against the number 15 team in the land last week after a terrific performance, the one-night 7-2 at Auburn. And it feels like Georgia's really peaking at a good time.
They are. We have an exhibition routine from Sydney Fitzgerald. Beautiful release moves down to the low bar and finishing off with a stretch double leg dismount, and she finds the landing as well.
Sticks could be contagious. Exhibit A is what Georgia did on bars here today in Como. When we come back, we'll talk about one of the new coaches for this Georgia side.